I guess maybe I guess that, if we're serious about um, having the planet, all human beings on the planet living life to the fullest, we need to invest as governments into allowing people to take time off, give them um, the monetary resources necessary for them to go to school, learn a profession, take all the steps that they need to do, the steps they need to take to um, practice a profession where they will feel fulfilled. Um, in this society, it's very hard. Only a few people can do that. Only a people can afford to do that, and it's truly unfair. And to have 80% of society in the U.S., it's 150, 120 million people, go wake up every day unhappy, go to work unhappy, drive, be in traffic unhappy, stay shut down for 8 hours, and then come back home and then be happy on the weekend. That's just horrible. So can we at the same time, if we can manage to start a revolution, create this revolution, this work revolution, where the people who are older change their professions and they start doing something that they want to do, and we teach the babies, the infants, we get them on the right path towards a happy life, not just a happy em- emotional life and physical life, but working life. That would be awesome. So if you're 10 years old, um, you're at the right time, because when you're watching this video or your parents see this video, they can steer you in the right direction towards a happier life. I imagine, if I were president of a country or prime minister of Canada, or I would there would be what I would call happiness institute that would pop up all over the place. Every neighborhood would have its happiness institute where every person could go. You can make an appointment, and you have these experts on happiness who guide you towards creating a happy life in terms of those four aspects. They 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 run through your whole life. So you have a consultation with them. You talk to them about how your relationships are doing, your health, whether you're doing enough exercise, etc. How your work is, and what your financial situation is, and then they make a plan with you to get you to where you're gonna be happy. That would be, those happiness institute. That would be just an awesome thing, I think. That's what I would have if I were president. I would allocate part of the budget to create those institutes to train the people who are going to work in them. The counselors. All right. So let's take the example of somebody who's really successful, who's doing really amazing work. Let's say, for example, a professor in a university who's doing research, biological research, maybe on stem cells or nanotechnology. On, let's say, a favorite topic of mine is nanorobots that go into the bloodstream, and they can pinpoint, they can target damaged cells or disease cells, and only deliver the cure, deliver the state. So deliver the active component that's gonna cure that cell. Um, so for example, that's a topic of research, for example. So we have this person, and usually when a person is very successful, they're very skilled, they're in demand, they're gonna have a job, and they're gonna be well paid. So now that moves us on to the next topic, which is money. Money is probably not something that you should target in terms of your happiness. You shouldn't do something because it will bring you money. That's probably hard to say. Let's say if you're an artist, or you're a painter, or you're a writer. It's hard for those people. I don't know of many people in that profession or sculptors who are actually successful, and they managed to use, or a photographer, to be people who manage to work in those professions and actually uh, make it make a living out of it. So they have to do something else in order to survive and make some money and pay their bills. And yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's ideal. I mean, it's easy for me to talk about from my point of view because as an engineer, you always have work. If you have a project that you're really passionate about, let's say for example biomedical engineering, developing exoskeletons, for example, for people who are disabled, and you go through the training, you go through let's say a bachelor's and a master's, and you do some internships and you work for those companies, you're gonna develop really amazing skills um, that are sought after, and you get paid very well. So this is, I guess, is the kind of profession I'm thinking of. Just most of the professions, I guess, are like that. I mean, if you're a lawyer, you're an architect, you're a businessman. There's many professions where you can just work on your craft, and as a consequence, people are gonna pay you. If you're a great writer, yes, people are gonna pay you to read your books, or people are gonna be have a job in a newspaper. People are gonna read your articles, your columns, and you're going to make money this way. And then you're gonna accumulate money. Once you start accumulating money, so I'm moving on to the next topic, which is money. Once you move on to the next, once you start accumulating money. Those are called savings. So uh, you make more than what you spend. So you put it in the bank and you invest it. So that money is gonna go back into the economy. It's gonna help startups. It's gonna help it's gonna help run the economy, because once you start investing, and then you start investing in companies that you think have potential for growth and profit, or you can leave it to the experts to invest your money for you, and they bring you good return on your capital. So at the same time, you're helping run the economy, you're helping people start their own businesses, you're giving work to other people, and it's giving you a return on your investment, which you will use if you decide to retire, or when at some point, if there's a rainy day, um, then you have some money set aside and you can use that money for that. But if you follow this whole, I mean, this is what I see, this is the ideal life. I mean, is it impossible? Impossible to live an ideal life. Um, that's the life I'm aiming for. That's what the path I'm on. I mean, this is my track right now. I'm on this track. I'm on this path towards happiness, and I guess I won't know. I've never met anyone who's told me this is the way I'm explaining happiness to you right now. I've never come across somebody who's told me this is the way I live life, and it has worked. So um, um, I'm very curious to find out if other people live life this way. Really, what creates a successful person? I guess what creates a successful, happy person. I guess that's the question, right? And I say that the answer to that question, if you were to analyze anybody, if you ask somebody, anybody, you pick up somebody off the street, take somebody off the street, and ask them these questions. Tell me about your these four aspects of life: your relationships, your family, with your friends. Talk to me about your emotional and your physical health. Like, to me about your work, your financial situation. You, you can they tell you about this, and then you can come up with you can do an evaluation on how happy they are based on those four criteria.